Yo, peace and blessings. This game clock news, and I just want to do my reaction and recap on an amazing Game Five I saw the Eastern Conference semifinals between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics. Um, Game fives are always serious when the series, especially when the series is tied 2-2. Most likely, either 9 times out of 10 or 8 times out of 10, whoever wins Game Five dictates the series. And if you're really into like old school basketball, like 90s basketball or like early 2000s basketball, where it's like, the scoring was kind of low, real chippy defense, then this is a game for you. The Boston Celtics had control of the game for most of the game. It was close, but the Celtics had control going to the fourth quarter. And it was such a thrilling game because, at one point I thought that the Milwaukee Bucks were about to blow this game, especially when it went like under 4 minutes and like the Celtics went up 105-99. They had a 6 point lead going into like the rest of the fourth, like going under 4 minutes. And even though Holiday was having a bad game for most of the game, offensive wise, based on the shots he was taking, he showed up down the stretch and showed why he plays championship basketball and why they got him from last year to help win the championship, seal the deal. Now, Giannis Antetokounmpo, we already know right now he is the big boss. He got the big belt, he got the title, he the heavyweight champ in the game of basketball right now. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 16 of 27, 2 from 5 from the 3-point line, 11 rebounds, 40 points in 40 minutes. Blood, sweat, and tears. Well, not too much tears, but sweat and blood, because he did get cut. And he out there bleeding and stuff, out there like a soldier, you heard me? A straight soldier. He went out there and showed everybody why he the one. He went out there and played hard. He did what Joel Embiid was supposed to do in his Game 5 against Miami. But that's a whole nother segment. Now, as for the strategy of the Celtics and Bucks going into this game, I knew it was going to be a physical game. I knew it was going to be a tight one. It was just all about who's going to finish the best. And things really, hit the fan when, Al Horford put that, tip dunk back in and had them up by like 6. And I knew something was up about Milwaukee when they just kept fighting, kept hustling. And, Giannis, pulled up and made a 3 to have them down by 3. And I was like, wow, that was a big 3. And normally Giannis, he don't really take threes like that because he's more of an inside presence. But the fact that he had that clutch gene in him to just, like, all right, like, whatever. Like, I got to make this 3. Somebody got to do something. And he did what he was supposed to do. He made the 3. Had them down by, made sure they was down by 3 instead of 6. Then Holiday, out of all the messing up he was doing, he comes back and make a 3 finally, and then ties the game. And the Milwaukee Bucks did good to say that they're fighting against the media and they was fighting against the refs too in Boston, and in a real hostile environment, like as the Boston TD Garden. You know what I'm saying? You were the Boston Garden, TD Garden. You know what I'm saying? They Celtics fans do the most around there. They showed no mercy to the road team. So you can imagine the stuff the Bucks players was hearing and stuff along with the calls that was going against them, but they still fought through. The Celtics have a real good team. They just made some crucial mistakes down the stretch. Jason Tatum, what I gotta say about JT, I'm a big JT fan. I like JT game a lot, but he gotta take the ball to the basket more. I feel like, being 2 for 11 for 3, that put them in a bad spot. Once he was 2 for 6 for 3, he should have stopped taking all them type of threes and took it most of the hoop. but he didn't do that. He settled for his jump shots. And also, what the Celtics did wrong, also, if you don't have Robert Williams out there healthy, why you not playing Daniel Theis more minutes? Daniel Theis, like, I think he probably played 20 minutes, if that. And he was like 5 for 5. Like, he made most of his shots, all his shots and stuff, got some rebounds and stuff like that, but he never got enough minutes to really show his effectiveness in a crucial Game 5 at home, where you need all hands on deck. And then the second half, he didn't play Grant Williams enough. Udoka, coach of the Celtics. You got to play your bigs to help Al Horford down low, especially if you don't have Robert Williams. Because while they were not doing that, they was really weak in the paint down the stretch when they really needed defensive rebounds. And the Milwaukee Bucks was getting offensive rebounds. And what the Milwaukee Bucks did right, outside of Greek Freak being the Greek Freak, I mean, come on now, outside of him being who he is, what the Bucks did right was Coach Budenholzer, he saw what he did wrong in Game 4, and he corrected it. What he did wrong in Game 4 was he left Brook Lopez out there too damn long, and Al Horford was cooking his ass. And that's part of the reason why they won that Game 4 in Milwaukee and stole that for the Boston Celtics. Now, Al Horford, he go hit that open shot. You know, if you've been a basketball fan, you've been watching Al Horford since his Florida years in college, and most of his prime years Atlanta Hawks, when he was more athletic than he is now. Al Horford gonna pick and pop and make those threes. And Brook Lopez, he's not gonna come out there and really run him off 3-point line because he doesn't have the speed of a 4. He's a legit 5, a center, but he's not that physical as he's supposed to be. Bobby Portis is physical enough to play a 5, and also he's quick enough to stay with 4s. So that was a great adjustment by Budenholzer to leave Bobby Portis in the game. Bobby Portis was 4 for 14 off the bench. He had 15 rebounds. His shooting wasn't that good at all, but he had 15 rebounds, and he made a clutch putback offensive rebound after Giannis made one free throw to have them up by, I believe, 1. And then he missed the second free throw. And then Bobby Portis came with the offensive rebound, put it right back in, and had them up by, I believe, 2 or 3. And that gave them more cushion for the final seconds to know that, okay, we are ahead this time. We're not trailing. We're ahead. And, you know, shouts out to Jrue Holiday, man. Holiday showed the poise of a champion. And this is what I mean about the poise of a champion. The poise of a champion meaning the stuff Kobe had, the stuff Jordan had, you know, the stuff Magic Johnson had, you know, Isaiah Thomas, a lot of other greats and legends. Like, no matter how bad you playing in the game, in the flow of the game, as long as if it's manageable to right your wrongs, and that's what he did. When the game was tight and he knew, okay, this is my chance to change everything around, he changed everything around. And he stayed with it. Anybody else, any other regular season player, any other guy that's just happy with getting his contracts and just going home and make sure he got a shoe deal, he got a commercial, it's cool, they would have just let that moment really had them sulking. Like, really had them like, oh, man, I'm messing up, woody-whoop. And they wouldn't have went out there and finished the job how they were supposed to. People gotta understand, Jrue Holiday is like, he gonna go down as an all-time defensive type of guard. He gonna go down with the, you know, Mo Cheeks, the Derek Harpers, you know, the Walt Frazier's, the Sidney Moncriefs, the Gary Paytons and Jason Kidds, you know, the real defensive, you know, guards that's really like get into your interior and make sure you have a hard night. You know, the prime Rondos and stuff, he gonna go down with those type of guys. Because that's what Jrue Holiday is. And he never gets the credit for being a guy with the biggest heart to go guard bigger players. Because whenever Jrue Holiday was playing, like, you know, whenever he played against LeBron, sometimes he'd be the one guard LeBron. Because he'd be one of the only ones that could, like, at least keep up with the speed of this dude and got some type of body type to, like, make sure he just don't get ran over. But, LeBron's bigger and taller, so if he feeling the jumper, then like most likely, he post him up, put the little turnaround on him, he can shoot over Holiday and get his points off. But, perimeter wise, Holiday on stopping penetration and stuff and just being that on the spot, Holiday is pretty decent at what he does. He's better than decent. Like, he's really great at what he does. This was a game that the Boston Celtics really wanted because they were at home, and it's going to be real tough for them to be down 3-2 like they are and having to go on the road in Milwaukee and get it done in Game 6. Now, do I believe they could get it done? Probably. They got a chance. I mean, you're an NBA player like the next dude that's in front of you, so you're supposed to believe you got a chance if you're in that scenario. However, the fact of the matter is, once again, the Milwaukee Bucks have taken home court advantage from the Boston Celtics. Even though the Boston Celtics was a higher seed in the regular season, going into the postseason, and they started out 11th place, and they went all the way to first, and then they dropped slightly to second, with Miami Heat catching the first seed, and the Bucks being the third seed. So even though Game 7 is in Boston, all Milwaukee got to do is win one more game because they took that Game 5. So that's more pressure on Boston to win Game 6 and having to do it again in Game 7. And I just believe that Milwaukee is more seasoned. I believe Milwaukee's more seasoned. They've been to the finals last year. They're the defending world champions. If people act like, saying Milwaukee Bucks didn't just beat the Suns last year in 6 games, and Giannis Antetokounmpo didn't have a 50-point closeout. Like, these teams was defending champions for a reason. And they pulling this out without Chris Middleton, which is supposed to be, the Robin to Greek Freak's Batman. And they making it do without him. They're making it do without him. And I knew they could do it because they got the pieces to do it. They just got to use everybody the right way. And I said to myself, the night before when I was thinking about this game coming up, I said Holiday got to have a 25, game with some clutch defense. And he did what he's supposed to do. Now, he didn't have 25. He had 24. And he took 24 shots to get those 24 points, only making 9 attempts. Because he was taking some real bad shots and really messing up in the flow of the game, especially in the third quarter. I mean, he was kind of like Slick playing for Boston. I'm like, bro, you throwing the game away. Get the ball to Greek Freak. If not, take it to the rack or make the right play. He wasn't doing that. He was trying to do shit his way. And, he finally woke up and smelled the coffee. He was like, oh, I just got to play hard defense and make the right plays, make the right jump shot, the right layup at the right time, be at the right place. And he finally he got his stuff together at the end. And he made 2 great crucial plays on Marcus Smart, who is the defensive player of the year this year. And Marcus Smart is a real tough defender. Him and Drew Holiday are kind of alike in a way. However, I feel like Holiday is more of a polished basketball player than Marcus Smart altogether, just in my opinion. Even though Marcus Smart is an aces defender and his perimeter has gotten better over the years, I still give the edge to Holiday, and he proved it tonight. He had a great block on Marcus Smart, because Marcus Smart thought he was going to take Pat Connaughton, down low in the paint and get a nice, good little 2-point bucket over him. And Holiday made a great block by making sure he came up right from behind him, snuck him right quick, give me your stuff. And then the last play of the game, where Marcus Smart was trying to, go coast to coast to try to, save the game for the Celtics, Holiday, ripped him and dribbled the clock out. And when Holiday ripped him, people don't understand, if you look at it from a different angle, Jason Tatum was wide open. Jason Tatum was wide open on the far right side. On the far right. He was wide open to at least take a 3, a jump shot, or at least a lob or a layup to the basket. and they didn't get that, and they wound up losing by 3, 110-107. And it was a thrilling game. It was a physical game, tough game. Everybody and they moms and their auntie and their cousins and their third removed cousins really thought that the Boston Celtics was gonna come out with a win tonight. You know, I don't know what's up with the media not really believing Giannis Antetokounmpo, but he is here and he is the man right now. That dude right there is the man. He is the big boss. Like that Bruce Lee movie, The Big Boss. He is the big boss. And I think everybody got to wake up and understand that and just realize it, that this dude got the belt right now. He got the title. So if anybody I give my favorites to on who should win the championship again is going to be Milwaukee, because they just won last year and they're in a great position to do it again. Now, of course, they got to, if they close out Boston Game 6, they got to see what's up with Miami. It looks like Miami might close out Philly. Because Philly, they proved they don't have the heart and they don't have the direction like they're supposed to. And I believe that in a 7-game series, if Milwaukee do it right, they can beat Miami without having to go through a Game 7. Without having to go through a Game 7 in Miami. They just got to do it right and get one of those early games in Miami, early splits, and win most of it and win their home games. But, like, this game right here from the Milwaukee Bucks, I was proud of that team. I was real proud of this team. And I was proud to see the Celtics give it such a great fight. You know, but the Celtics had the lead. And one thing I got to kind of, I won't say give them a break because you got no excuses, because the Boston Celtics was ahead most of the game and they had the advantage. But Robert Williams was hurt, who is like the young start center and like the future of like the big man for the Boston Celtics. Now, even though he was hurt, that's why I say to myself, okay, where's Theis? Where's Grant Williams? You need more, you need more weight down low to help Horford with the offensive rebounder or the defensive rebounder, because the Bucks made sure like they put their best rebounders in, their best hustle guys in, to get those extra scrappy points. Once I saw Wes Matthews in the game with Bobby Portis and Greek Freak and Holiday, I'm like, oh yeah, they came to scrap tonight. Because Wes Matthews, he ain't no joke. He going to play D. He going to shoot the three. He an intelligent basketball player. And the Lakers, and one thing is proved that the Lakers shouldn't have gave up on him and they didn't know what the hell they was doing. Because this man always good for Milwaukee. You know, kind of like how Stevenson is in a way. Like Lance Stevenson it is. Like, nobody know what to do with this man, but when he go to the Pacers, it's magic. I don't know what it is. So when he went back to Milwaukee, the same way Iguodala back and go to State, it was like, well, it's a perfect match. He know the system. Excuse me. He know the system. He know what he's doing. And he knows how to fall right in place with being like a true role player for what they're running. And I feel like that was just a real, entertaining game to watch. I ain't seen a Game 5 like that in a while. It kind of put me in mind of like, those Pacers and Pistons 2004 type of series, or, those, Heat and Knicks, like real, like, a real tough series. It kind of give you that feel. Kind of give you that old school feel, and I love it. And I had a feeling after the first round, once I saw how Boston, what they did to Brooklyn, I said to myself, oh, yeah, this is going to be a great matchup between them and Milwaukee, because they're both it's almost like you got two bullies on the block, one from one hood, another from another hood. It's like, okay, who the best bully overall in the whole city? Outside, it's like, they both just duking it out. You heard me? Like, they swinging it out. Let's see who the best tough guy and who got to sit down. And they doing a cage fight, and everybody bet money and stuff. It's kind of like that. It's a dog fight. And everybody put money down. That's how I feel about this series with Milwaukee and Boston. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is their third time playing each other in like last 4 years or 3 years or so. I think their third or fourth time. Because Greek Freak, he got history of playing the Boston Celtics in the playoffs. He got history of playing the Boston Celtics. So, it was a great game to watch. And let's see if the Boston Celtics can rally back for Game 6. I don't really believe so. I feel like it's gonna be like, kind of close for a minute, and I feel like Milwaukee gonna find a way to just put them away. Just put them away. Because if you Milwaukee, you really don't want to go through a Game 7 in Boston, even though anything can happen. And I think I would still even go to Game 7. I still believe that the Bucks can pull it out. It's just the politics of trying to make sure that the politics against Greek Freak and trying to make sure they humble the Bucks for no reason. It's just I feel like the media got it out for the Bucks because they doing it in an original way without stacking a super team. And it's with guys they traded and drafted for. And I just feel like, the league want to see Giannis go down just like LeBron and KD not in. So it's like, well, you got to go down too. And I just feel like if the Bucks really determined to win this series, they'll win Game 6 and get them out the way. You don't want no politics ruin your Eastern Conference Finals appearance. Because you should want to get your rest ready for the Miami Heat. Because the Miami Heat is no joke. No joke. And if Giannis Antetokounmpo get out of this and beat the Heat, if it's probably 6 games, 6 or 7 games, probably 6 games, and goes to the finals and win that too, it's like, bro, this dude really doing it the hard way. He really getting out the mud, yo. He really doing this against defensive teams in the East and getting the best of the West, the same way Michael Jordan was doing in the 90s. I got to go through the Pistons, the Knicks, Cleveland, and I got to beat whoever, like the Suns of Portland, whoever 5 in the West, whoever 5, and they almost just as good teams I played against in the East. Shoot. Giannis Antetokounmpo doing it the right way, and he deserves respect for that. Full respect. Can you dig it? Sure enough. It's Game Clock News. Peace and love.